This video is about how to keep your Bitcoin safe. I've been getting a lot of questions from you guys about how exactly to keep one's Bitcoin safe and whether it's even possible. There's a common misconception that Bitcoin is very easy to steal. And there have been some hacks over the last few years that have contributed to this. But I want to show you some of the details and reassure you that Bitcoin, if handled properly, can be quite safe. So the first thing to understand is that for your Bitcoin, there are two main pieces. There's a public key and a private key. Now the public key always begins with the letter 1, with the number 1, and it is like a mailbox. So if you want someone to send you some Bitcoin, you just give them this public key here, and they can send you Bitcoin. Now the private key is the most important piece, and these usually begin with the number 5. The private key is almost like your email password or the key, the lockbox key to your mailbox. If anyone owns this private key, if anyone knows this private key, they own your Bitcoin. So if you don't give anyone your private key, it's actually impossible for your Bitcoin to be hacked. Now, many of you have also been asking what exactly a Bitcoin wallet is. Bitcoin wallet is very simple. It's just a place that stores your public key plus your private key. And there are two kinds of Bitcoin wallets. There are hot Bitcoin wallets, and there are cold Bitcoin wallets, which is also called cold storage. Now, a hot Bitcoin wallet just means a Bitcoin wallet that is connected to the internet. Now, these are inherently less safe just because if something's connected to the internet, it can theoretically be hacked. Some of them are safer than others. For example, Coinbase, if you have an account at Coinbase, which is a pretty easy way to buy some Bitcoin, that's an online wallet. It stores your public key and your private key. Theoretically, it could be hacked. It seems to me to be pretty safe. There are also other types of wallets. There are online wallets that you can store on your desktop, you can store on your phone, and you can use to spend money. But I want to talk about the safest kind of wallet. And this is the kind you should be using if you're going to buy some Bitcoin and just put it away and hold on to it for your children and grandchildren. Now, cold Bitcoin wallet is just any wallet that's not connected to the internet. So the simplest form is what's called a paper Bitcoin wallet. And what that basically means is you have a piece of paper somewhere in your house or in a safe or in the bank, I suppose. Though storing in the bank might be sort of counterproductive if you're trying to get away from banks. But this is a piece of paper where you basically have just written down your public key and your private key. And you keep that in a safe place, maybe in a fireproof safe in your house. The safest form of cold storage or cold Bitcoin wallet is actually your brain. So this is what's really amazing about Bitcoin. It's the first currency you can actually store in your brain. And the way you would do this, you require a fairly good memory, is you have your private key, and instead of writing it down anywhere or storing it online, you store it in your head. Now, the best way to do this would be to create a little mnemonic device, a little memory device that would enable you to memorize this private key. So you might say, 5 Mary brownies, 8 kangaroos. You'd create something that means something to you, and you would use that. And in that way, if you just kept this memorized, you would basically be storing Bitcoin in your brain. And finally, if that's a little too hard for you, and it's definitely too hard for me, you can use what's called a hardware wallet. And my favorite hardware wallet, which is another form of cold Bitcoin wallet or cold storage, is Trezor, Trezor.io. And basically what you do is you load this up with your private key and public key, and then you unplug it and you keep it in a safe place in your house or bury it somewhere. And because it's not connected to the internet, it cannot be hacked. And this is a way to basically store your Bitcoin indefinitely. If you like this video, you're going to love my new course on Bitcoin. And you can check it out by just clicking on the link in the description box below. Also, drop any comments you want in the comments, and I'm happy to answer your questions. And please be sure to like my video as well.